Slightly ahead, they'll be happy. I thought England did as good as they could. I thought Broad bowled well, Anderson bowled well, Wilkes not bad. Tom Curran did very well, lots of enthusiasm, energy, mixed it up. I mean, on a debut on that, he won't get a tougher surface than that. He really won't. He won't get a tougher day. The only disappointment, we've no spinner, have we? Ball 13 overs, mowing ball 6. It's hard for Joe Root and the team when you don't have a quality spinner, but what they had to offer, fast medium bowling, I think they did as good as they could, and the afternoon session was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I think they limited to 53 runs and got 2 wickets. But it's difficult all day to do that because it's in the batsman's favour.
Indeed, and actually, from an Australian point of view, 102 without loss at lunch, in some ways you'd expect more than what you've got.
Yeah, I think England stuck at their task really well in that middle session and made it hard for Australia, but it's got the guests coming in.
Yeah, here we are, the debutant, Tom Curran.
Take mine, mate. Much better for him.
That's very generous of you, Jeffrey, thank you very much. How was your day?
Yeah,
mixed?
Yeah, mixed day. No, look, it was great to make my debut today. Very proud day. Obviously, a couple ups and downs, but yeah, very proud day.
When did you know?
Found out yesterday morning.
Christmas present?
Nice Christmas present, yeah. Very good.
How was sleep last night?
Slept okay, to be honest, yeah. Lay in bed for about an hour. Your heart does get racing when you start imagining how it's going to go, but yeah, once I fell asleep, I slept right through.
Yeah, and the two gentlemen alongside me know an awful lot about the sport, as you well know. We're just singing your praises just for the sheer enthusiasm and effort. How hard was it? How pleasing was it? I know you obviously will get to your frustrations.
Yeah, look, it was tough work. It's obviously a good wicket, not a lot of pace, but we managed to get the ball reversing a little bit, so kept trying my best, and obviously other days things might go a little bit different.
Other days things might go a little bit different. Yeah, you could say that. Let's have a look, because I'm sure in some ways you'll want to see it again. In some ways you really won't want to see it again, but we need to, because at that moment you're thinking, oh my gosh, I've got him on 99, dream come true.
Yeah. Do you know what? I asked the umps how my foot was the ball before that, and he said half and half, just behind. So moved it a little bit forward, and obviously, gutted.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you were. And that moment of realisation, that's like your world's fallen apart.
Yeah, it was horrible. The worst feeling I've had. But I mean, look at the positive. I get to get my first wicket twice. So.
True. True. Maybe Steve Smith can be your first wicket. That'd be better than David Warner, wouldn't it?
No, they're both great players. So let's just hope we get the first one soon.
Yeah, and of course you knew once the reprieve happened that he'd get to a ton when he was on the very next delivery, didn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, you're hoping not, but.
Look, obviously it was disappointing to bowl the no ball. Like I said, other days things can go differently.
Yeah. It was quite lively, wasn't it, when he came back to the wicket with all that had gone on? There was a bit of chat?
Nothing to write home about.
Nothing to write home. Understood. Very diplomatically put. So, at the end of all that, if you had to kind of, I don't know, in 50 years tell your kids, grandkids about this first day as an England Test player, how would you sum it up?
Look, it's unbelievable. This coming out here for the first time a few days ago, you walk out and it's like the Colosseum. It was it's just an unbelievable feeling, and to be out there playing, making my debut today, like I said, it's just a very proud day, and hopefully it's upwards from here.
What would you like to say, Jeffrey?
I would like to say, well done, young man.
Thank you.
I thought you showed a lot of energy, a lot of effervescence. You looked lively, you looked as if you're enjoying it. And after being 3-0 down in the series, that's what we needed. That's what everybody was supporting. We wanted to see you up for the challenge. And you didn't get a wicket, but let me tell you, you won't get a better, tougher match than that ever in your career. Wherever you bowl from now on, it's got to be easier.
Well, that's a good way of putting it. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
I mean, in some ways, I suppose, you got your Christmas present yesterday, and then you came and saw the pitch and thought, do I have to bowl on that, did you? Or did you not think, you can't allow that, can you? You have to think.
To be honest, I didn't think about it. I mean, I came on to bowl, I was excited, I got going. I was disappointed with the way I bowled in my first spell. sat down at lunch and tried to come back stronger. Obviously went a bit better, and like I said, hopefully it just gets better from here. But unbelievable day.
Well, listen, sleep well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bowl well tomorrow.
Thank you.
Get the caps in.
Fingers
And then we
crossed.
can all talk again tomorrow about,
Thank you very
about
much.
another
All they
brilliant
take
day.
is 2 balls, you get 2 wickets. You've got to keep thinking that.
Exactly.
And then also think, can you bat? Because you'll get a chance on there.
Oh, exactly.
He always talks about that. He loves the batting.
Love
Let's
it,
do a
love
mic
batting.
shuffle. Tom, we really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
very much,
Well
mate.
done.
Appreciate it.
Terrific.
Hope you have that.
Well done, mate. Congrats.
Cheers, buddy. Nice to see you. Lovely. Just it's the enthusiasm, isn't it? As much as anything, that's what England need.
I think that they needed a pick-me-up, a shot. Michael was talking about maybe they need another spinner because Moeen's really a batsman, but they can't afford to leave Moeen out because they're frightened of the batting.
Yeah.
He bats 7 and we haven't batted well all series, so it is difficult, but they could do with a quality spinner, somebody new like him who's got the energy, he's new, he's fresh, he loves it.
Like Mason Crane.
Well, I don't make those decisions, but they do need a spinner.
Yeah.
They have selectors at home have to find somebody.
Give us a view. If you're batting today, obviously you've been in that scenario. The fact that England haven't really got a heavy spin option, are you thinking, well, that's one less thing to worry about?
I think the Australians will certainly still respect the English attack, no question about that. But there is a bit of a sameness. So once you get used to that attack, then you sort of can line it up a little bit. Some variety would be handy, I think. But I think Australia, all in all, they'll feel satisfied with the day that they only lost 3 wickets, but they would have liked a few more runs. And I thought England toiled away really well, particularly in that middle session, just to drag the run rate back. Warner was going so well. To be able to get that run rate back in under 3 was a really good effort by England, but they'll need some early wickets tomorrow. In Australia, Steve Smith always talks about the importance of first innings runs. So he'll be looking and he'll be telling every one of his batsmen, get in and go big, because we want to get as many as we can in this first innings.
Well, he would talk about first innings runs because he gets so many of them. Moeen Ali bowled 6 overs today. That in itself condemns what he's getting out of either himself or the pitch, doesn't it?
Well, the difficulty for people like me, ex-players, Michael Vaughan, we've got people at home listening. And don't be bad to Moeen, he's a good lad, he's got some good runs for England. He gets big runs, and we said, what a good cricketer. Well, he is a good cricketer. But sometimes it's the balance of the team. The balance of the team needs more bowling options. It needs a spin bowling option, not somebody who rolls his arm. And we get persuaded by winning in England with him just bowling a few overs that will work in India, which it didn't. We got walloped. And it's not going to work here where we're going to get walloped again, and are doing 3-0 down. And you've got to start planning ahead.
Yes.
And that means that we have to make Ben Stokes the all-rounder, 2 seamers and Ben Stokes, a seam bowler all-round. We might even play a proper spinner, and Moeen can still play as a batsman who's the second spinner. There's all kinds of options. Or we play 3 seamers and Stokes. Moeen sometimes doesn't play.
Moeen for you is a batsman who bowls a bit. He's not a bowler as such. He's not a spin bowler.
And his bowler bit is anything that, if you could bat, you fancy.
Right.
Because he undercuts it. And I asked Graham on air earlier, not everybody heard it. I asked Graham Swan, who can bowl, what's the difference undercutting it like that and bowling over? It's like the tennis ball. You do that, and it hops on, and it causes you problems. He said it's not difficult to change and do. Now, I don't know that. I don't bowl. But he bowled.
So he can improve, is what
he said he could do it. I said, well, they've got enough damn coaches there, haven't they?
Let's get a view from those involved from an Australian point of view today. David Warner with Ali Mitchell.
Well, we've got the century maker with us, Davey Warner. Congratulations on the 100. Your thoughts, first of all, though, on the overall day's play and Australia's position?
Thank you. Look, I think, in the position that we're at now, I think it's 3 for 244. I think it was a hard-fought day. I think England brought it back in that middle session, and they bowled fantastic. And the ball was sort of reversing a little bit, set straight fields, and it was challenging to score. And they sort of slowed it up, and then towards the end there, we sort of got on a little bit of a roll. And as you've seen time and time again, the last couple of years, Steve Smith comes in and plays the way he does, and makes the game look very easy.
For yourself, then, pleased to get a Boxing Day 100, or disappointed you could have got a bigger one?
Oh, I'm obviously pleased, but yeah, as you said, I'm disappointed that I didn't manage to go on with it. We always talk about cashing in, and today I felt, I let myself down and the guys, not staying out there and getting on with it. But credit to Jimmy, I think it was, almost the last over of his spell, and he bowled fantastic during that spell, and brought me down and got me dismissed. Yeah.
Talk me through, though, from your perspective and your emotions, though, what happened when you were on 99?
Yeah, a pretty poor shot. I played the similar shot 2 balls before, I think it was, and it's one of those half-hearted shots that you in between. Me and Usman spoke about not pulling and cutting at the moment, with the wicket being a little bit, up and down and too paced. And then obviously, when the umpire came over to me and sort of said he had overstepped, I was praying that he sort of did. But it was a big roar when he dismissed me. But then obviously the reversal was a louder noise.
Had it even crossed your mind that it could have been a no ball as you were walking off?
Now look, as you get dismissed, you sort of, your shoulders shrug and you walk off, and just fortunate enough that the umpire sort of pulled me back.
And the feelings and emotions then when you did eventually get to 3 figures at a Boxing Day test, or on Boxing Day here?
Yeah, it's always a milestone just to come out here and be selected to play a Boxing Day test, and childhood dream to play one, but to score 100 second year in a row is obviously a fantastic feeling. But it's not about me, it's about the guys and the team, and I've been able to put some runs on the board to put us in a good position.
Did it get a little bit heated out there around about that time? There seemed to be a few comments exchanged.
There was, but that's as a bowler would be a little bit frustrated. Obviously, dismissing some of them bowling a no ball, but that's the game. It's how it is, and we leave that out in the field, and we know it can get heated, but it is what it is.
What did you make of Tom Curran then on his Test debut?
Yeah, look, I think initially his first spell, probably looked a tad nervous. I feel that the second time he came back on the bowl and the ball was doing a little bit, it was very effective. I think the way he settled in that second spell was fantastic. And look, obviously he got his opportunity today. Misfortune of obviously Craig being injured, but credit, well done to him first making his debut. But I felt his second spell was very handy.
And just finally, and very briefly, did you any surprise that England didn't take the new ball when it was immediately available tonight?
No, look, I think everyone heard Joe's comments the other day that he's his own person, and that's probably the way that he wants to captain, and that's not my decision, that's his decision. So, if he wanted to hold off, he held off for a reason.
Well played today, Davey. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Alison.
David Warner with Ali. We've got more Michaels, 3 Michaels actually, with Mrs. Vaughan and Slater joining Hussey and Boycott. And actually, the eagle-eyed amongst you will have spotted the lesser-known Slater of the Michael variety walking through the back of shot to get to us here for a chat.
Well, I was racing.
Of course you were.
I was running late.
Couldn't get here quick enough. Listen, just before we get to a bit of fun about the no-ball stuff with those involved, he's a punchy character. Warner, he was always going to celebrate with what had gone before, and there was always going to be a little bit of jousting at the wicket.
Yeah, he looks to me, I mean, I don't know him that well, but he looks to me that he's the kind of player you want in your team. I'm going to bowl to him. I think he's been kind of, for the first time for a long while, just starting to think about the game too much. Well, today he came out with that free-spirited approach and played wonderfully well. Yeah,
well, worth another look and listen at. It was around about 2:10 this afternoon, our time here in Melbourne, and as that no ball happened and all that went with it, the two gentlemen on the panel, Mr. Slater and Mr. Boycott, were in the commentary box.
Well,
let's have a little revisit.
And now he's going to be out on 99. Can you believe it? The 90s, the nervous 90s have got Warner, and England have their man. What a shot! A wonderful shot, wasn't it? I'm glad you played it, David. Well done. Trying to pull a good length ball, and Curran's got his wicket. What a wicket to get. Oh no! No ball. What about that? You've gone off too early, boys. You cannot believe it. How daft can you get? Look at that. You get, listen to the crowd. Listen. They love it. Warner's coming back. They're going mad. They stood up. You stood up. You loved it. I'm here, sat down. I can't believe it. Listen at them. Look at them. They stood up as if they scored a goal in a cup final.
Dear oh dear, well, spare a thought for Curran. That's his debut wicket. It's Dave Warner on 99, and he just slightly oversteps. There's Dave Warner trying to manipulate it, square up. The shot before was out of the middle, that one top edge.
He'll be telling us later he knew it was a no ball. That's why he tried the shot.
He can say that. He gets another chance. The crowd have erupted on both sides of the fence. This time he gets it. He gets it now. And he lights up the MCG. It's been a blistering innings.
Some couple of minutes of cricket, very beautifully described by the two gentlemen alongside me. And actually, talk about a little bit of history repeating. That was now, this is then, 12 years ago, 2005.
Where are we going now?
A certain Mr. Vaughan batting in an Ashes match 2005 series at Old Trafford. And again, it's the same dynamic duo in the box.
Watch this.
And dropped again. Dear oh dear. It's flown, it was a toughie, but I have to say, you've got to get him. This time it's Michael Vaughan gets a life on 41.
Well, this was a specific flan. They bowled outside off stump, he's flashed at it, and he's done England a favour again. There's no doubt that he deliberately bowling outside off stump, trying to get Michael Vaughan to flash at the ball. He's done exactly that. Out! Oh, no ball, bad luck. Oh, bad luck, you Aussies. Couldn't happen to a nicer people, Michael.
Oh, settle down there, boys. Can you believe it? It was the perfect comeback from Glenn McGrath. There was the drop catch, the previous delivery, frustration at that. He comes in and just overcooks his run up. He's an inch and a half over. Perfect delivery. Watch it deck back through the gate. And then it would have been bowled again, Michael Vaughan, but no ball.
Do you think Michael Vaughan heard the call?
No chance.
Transferred to
Of course you did.
almost word for word.
And you were carrying on again.
Did you say it couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of people?
Yeah.
Take offence to
Absolutely.
that.
He calls me Mr.
Yeah.
Rah-Rah. Did you hear what he was going on about?
Jumps up and down when they got under the wicket.
I tell you what I saw out of that is how lucky Michael Vaughan is.
I probably won't be stood here actually if that had happened.
Just happened to be you.
What did you get, 166 after all
I
that?
got a few,
Lovely. Wonderful.
Fantastic.
Oh dear. I mean,
I
I
like
presume
the
that the moment of reprieve is just one of the best feelings in cricket, isn't it?
Well, you said again because Gilly had dropped Trescothick. I think it was in the second over of the day. Simple one to the left, and I think they dropped two more chances than that one. So that's why you can say the catches are going down for Australia. You just got to sniff throughout that kind of period of that first day at Old Trafford that things were starting to go our way.
And listen, less people sometimes at home say, "Oh, Jeffrey's always down on England." Listen to how much he supports them. He loves it when the Aussies cock up, doesn't he?
Well, that's right.
Don't you?
Well, because he thinks I go so far that way.
Yeah.
You listen to him this Test match, and the next Test match, he's going to be really supporting the English. It's great fun. I love that banter, though, when you're a little bit patriotic and you can have a little bit of stoush. But the moment that you need to be unbiased, you are unbiased. But it's not a bad combination, you and I. Although he's got to learn to play a few more shots.
Of course. Get a bit more expansive. Let's start because
I never
obviously
got out after a wide. He got out doing
Oh,
wide.
don't go there, boys.
David Johnson in
Here we
India.
go. Here we go.
The selectors dropped you for that.
All right, we haven't got enough time on air for all of that, Jeffrey. Let's go back to, in a way, the start of the day, because 102 without loss at lunch, Michael, and the Aussies cruising. So England needed to find something, and they did after lunch. Cameron Bancroft, the first wicket to fall, and they worked awfully hard, England, after lunch.
Yeah, I thought Cameron Bancroft just battled really today, particularly with a few of the short ones, and that was a good bowling from Wokes. Just got it to nip back in, plumb in front. Showed on the replay it was umpires called in the top, but with the naked eye I thought that was counting into middle stump about 3/4 of the way up. But yeah, England after lunch bowled really, really well in partnerships, built pressure from both ends, and a lot of dot balls. They managed to curb Warner's dominance as well, and yeah, they deserved their rewards in that middle session, and getting the big wicket of Warner, and that slowed things down further.
Yeah, what do you think changed? Would that have been a lunchtime discussion about how to bowl?
I think they bowled a bit fuller. I think that reverse swing that they found in the afternoon session. As soon as you get reverse swing, the scoring rate generally always comes down because the batsman's starting to think of survival because the ball's going either way. There's just a question that you're asking a batsman more than in that opening session. There was nothing through the air. England bowled a little bit too short, a little bit too wide, and I think they probably found their lengths and they found their lines. On a wicket like this that we've already seen a little bit of uneven bounce, you've got to bowl the hit off stump just to bring those LBWs into play, and England did that better in the afternoon session.
Michael, is Usman Khawaja toiling in this series a little bit? I know he's had some good moments, but he looks like he's trying to find form.
Yeah, look, I don't think he's in pristine form. We've seen a couple of 50s from him. One of those needed to be 100, and the series is different for him. So, look, I don't think he's far off it. I didn't like his footwork today. I thought he was a little bit on the crease. He's never a big foot mover anyway, but he just looks a little down in confidence. And this is a flow-on effect from how the selectors have treated him when they go to Asia. I mean, he's probably second-guessing himself the whole time. He bats 3 in Australia, and they say you're not good enough to bat 3 over in the subcontinent. Now, that's going to mess with your mind. As casual as you are, he's a good thinker about the game. But I think he's not quite confident in this side yet, which is affecting a little bit of the way he plays. If he gets going, he's a very graceful player, and he's a prolific player in Australia. But I think it's fair to say he's a bit off.
And 160 for 3, Jeffrey, we're getting a bit excited, not least because Stuart Broad's finally got a wicket after what feels like weeks waiting for one, working awfully hard for it. And then he has a couple of darts at Sean Marsh, and you're thinking, this is what happens with Broady. He gets a streak going. It didn't quite happen, did it?
Very difficult on this surface. I mean, he bowled very well. I thought he bowled really well. It's hard to even make the ball do an inch or an inch and a half. It's so good. Look, that's just going down leg-sided or just too much.
Both that was a moment too. If he'd been given that first one, he's on a hat-trick, and it could have been given, couldn't it? The umpire goes with the emotion of the game, finger up, and that's out. He's on a hat-trick, and he's the sort of bowler that gets on a roll at that point. So that was a big moment for England, and didn't quite work their way.
Have you been impressed, satisfied with the response, if you like, from Stuart today? You were saying this morning maybe he could have been left out.
Yeah, no, I'll still stick with that because I think the whole England set just needed a little bit more of a ruffling of feathers. But that was his best spell of the series, no question. He got his paces to 140 clicks, and when I watch Stuart bowl, that's what I want to see. He's not going to bowl 90 miles an hour, but I just think when he gets to 85 to 87, that's when, for me, he has his most effect out in the middle on any surface. Those numbers don't lie. Those numbers don't lie for someone that's outstanding and has been for many, many years. This year, 2017, I'm pretty sure he'll be the first to admit he hasn't quite found the form of what he did a couple of years previously, and he'll know that. One thing that frustrates me about him, bowling to left-handers, he's bowled 28 deliveries over the wicket to left-handers throughout. Went to the 4th Test match. He's bowled 28 deliveries over the wicket. He's got 1 wicket for 5 runs in those 28 deliveries. The rest of his deliveries have come around the wicket to the left-handers. He's got 3 wickets in something like 49 overs. Why isn't he trying a different angle? Why just going for this one approach around the wicket all the time? The captain, the coach, the senior players, surely 1 or 2 of them are going to, come on, just try over the wicket, just change the angle, just vary it just somewhat, just to ask the batsman a couple more questions. Just don't go for the same way all the time.
Yeah, well, I guess Joe Root is learning in the captaincy role, but it's not as coaches are plenty, as Jeffrey keeps pointing out, aren't they?
They're only little things. You have to be really honest and brutally frank. We don't have a quality spinner. We don't have a genuine fast bowler. You get Anderson and Broad bowling pretty good like today. 2 good fast medium bowlers. Yeah, they did. But they can't get a lot of wickets. So nick an odd one. You need pace and you need a spinner. And they have more variety, more pace, or they did have when Stark was fit. Bird's not the same bowler.
Well, that's why they have to keep changing angles, just to keep asking a little question or 2 from different.
And you're right, I agree with all that, but we have to be frank. They don't have pace, England. They don't have a quality spinner, and that hurts you in the end. No matter what your seamers do, over, round, what have you, you can't get up to 90 mile an hour. And when your spinner only bowls 6 overs because, or the occasional bowler bowls 7 more than him, that tells you everything on a flat pitch.
Which explains in part why Steve Smith rarely gets out.
Well, he never gets out here.
Well, that's true. That's true, but I'm just trying to get the press. But he's played again. He kind of ghosts along, Hoss, doesn't he? Suddenly he's nearly 50, then he's 50.
His appetite for batting is almost unparalleled at the moment, and he's coming up to face nearly 1,000 balls in the series so far, and I can guarantee he would have faced probably more than that in the nets. He cannot get him out of the nets as well. He loves batting. Always has a bat in his hands in the dressing room, walking around with it and playing shots as well. And he's got an unusual technique as well. He shuffles across the crease, but as the bowler lets go of the ball, he's dead still. Footwork's overrated, I think, in his mind, and he's just looking to manipulate the ball wherever the field is. And he's got an amazing ability to find those gaps in the field. He's an incredible player, and his consistency is amazing.
And one of those rare breeds, Michael, that since he's become captain, not least here, I mean, the average since he's become captain is off the screen.
I want to ask Boyce, do you think he sleeps with his cricket bat like he used to?
I hope he does.
Look at those numbers.
Well, that's it. He must be doing.
Yeah.
He must be doing. Look, he loves it. He's very good. He transfers his weight well. He gets on that back foot, but he's not stuck like Khawaja is. He's stuck like Limpy. That's why he's an ordinary player. I don't care what you say. Him and Bancroft are not good players. But Smith, he transfers weight. He gets back and he makes it time. Once you've got time and you pick up the length well, it's easy. He dances on the balls of his feet.
And there he is, obviously, in this calendar year. He's forging ahead of almost everybody, really. Some very illustrious names on that list, but he is, I wouldn't say head and shoulders, but he's starting to become almost impregnable. If you two had to nip in, if we found the right cash incentive, you had to nip into the England dressing room and give us a tip, what are we missing?
We're not going to nip in there, are we?
Oh, well, we're not going to help you out. But look, I just think right now Joe Root has to take control of this side and keep it simple. Give very strong direction and tell the bowlers what he's after from them. I know there's a wealth of experience with Broad and Anderson. He's got to milk the best out of them by giving them the simple plan and everyone else, and those senior players have to start leading the ship and showing the example. So that this is another look at Steve Smith right now.
But his conversion rate.
Well, I just don't know how. I don't know what the bowlers are thinking in trying to get him out. The bowling plan to Steve Smith is a very hard one right now because you're waiting for him to make a mistake.
Yeah, you've almost, I suppose, you got to, if he gets to 50, you just start defending against him and you start trying to bowl him out of the game rather than actually stop him from scoring or get him out.
Well, the problem is that when you bowl, your best ball, which is that full of length, picking off stump, he plays it with so much ease. He just gives you the disdain that, what was that? So you try something else and he just offers up a shot through the offside, so you're going straight, he goes, thank you very much. He's just on a different level at the minute. England have tried everything, they've tried to change a few angles, they came round the wicket. I like that today, Jimmy Anderson starting round the wicket, just to show him something different, but just at this stage of his career in this series, he's just been a little bit too good.
You talked about the reverse, they didn't take the new ball. Was that a trick missed, or did you agree with that?
Look, I would have taken it earlier, it's not a big factor. I'd have had 3 with each of Anderson and Broad. I've still got a good ball tomorrow morning. I mean, I thought Anderson, he got him a couple of balls, made it difficult, one played and missed. He had 2 overs. I think you want 3 at each end. Michael and I were on commentary. And we said, I mean, they bowled well today. I don't think you had anything to lose by giving them 3 each.
I could understand the thinking. The ball was soft, so the scoring rate wasn't going to increase. It was a little bit of reverse swing there, but perhaps you need wickets. Wickets late in the day. Well, that hard new ball, bit of swing, bit of seam. If they could have just picked up 4, perhaps 5 at the stumps, then you'd think England are probably just on top on the day.
I think what I'd have liked to, I mean, you get to 80 overs, you've got Chris Woakes bowling at one end, Tom Curran. Just give them the new ball for 2 or 3 as well.
Just
why not? England are 3-0 down in the series. That's my point. Is why not?
Yeah.
What have they got to lose just by throwing the ball to Tom Curran? Go and have 2 overs with the new ball. Anderson will bowl 3, and then Broad will bowl 3 at the other end. But Woakes, you take the second new ball as well. Just try something different.
Listen, the forecast for tomorrow is pretty much like today. It's hot. It's probably pretty bat friendly. Will both teams bat tomorrow?
How do you answer that? Australia will try and bat all
day. They're going to get a bat at the end of the day.
Australia, they're going to bat to a point where they can say, right, put the pads on, get out there, and we're going to make it really ugly for you, whether it's 40 minutes, whether it's longer than that. So, yes, it's the answer to the question.
No, I think England will definitely bat. It's not easy, Test cricket. I know Steve Smith makes it look easy, and Sean Marsh is certainly playing well, but England will come back. They'll fight hard again tomorrow. Australia, they're going to try and bat, and make as many as they possibly can. But I'm expecting England to come back and take wickets tomorrow and get out there and have a bat.
I hope England are batting by tea. Means they'll have had a good day.
My issue is that you look to the way Bancroft played, you look to the way Khawaja played, Sean Marsh, the 2 standout players, Warner and Smith, made it look very, very simple. The other 3 made it look quite tricky. I think there's plenty out there.